Hey guys, what's up? Hi, Bubba's here. Just wanted to make a short video playing Season 13, and a lot of people asking me questions about the Invoker set. Some newer players and some people that are just new to Crusader or new to Invoker in general. You know, a lot of them wanted to play the Condemn build, but in order to get to the Condemn build, you gotta go through the Invoker set first, which is the free set. So I thought I'd make a little video, hopefully helping some of you people out who are trying to play Invoker, to just help you get your con set. The Invoker set is probably my favorite set because it kind of breaks from the general crit chance, crit damage. That's why I love playing Invoker set. I'll probably keep the set and try to push it later on to see how high I can get with it. But I do really want to play the Condemn Crusader. So as soon as I get my con set, I'll be rolling with that. But yeah, so a lot of people are just like, how's the set work? What do I need to do? So let's go over some of the set pieces right now first. Obviously, you want the 6-piece set of the Invoker. Now I have a 5-piece set with the Ring of Royal Grandeur because I'm using this ancient sanguinary bracer that I got, which is kind of decent for this build starting out. This one I got it from Act 1 cash while I was trying to get my Ring of Royal Grandeur, which I always need anyway. It happened to drop Ancient and it was nice, so I said, hey, I'm going to just go ahead and equip that instead of my Invoker set, especially since I got my Ring of Royal Grandeur. Another thing you can use is you can do the same setup I have with the Ring of Royal Grandeur and the Nemesis Bracer for more of a speed variant, which is kind of what I'm running right now. It's kind of a faster variant because I'm just trying to get through some like level 40 rifts to get all my gems up to level 30 so I can start really farming with the Invoker set. So basically all the Invoker set, and basically the only stats you're worried about are Strength, Vitality, and Thorns. Thorns is first and foremost. If your piece of gear has nothing else on it, make sure you get Thorns on it. And then cooldown reduction is big as well. Cooldown reduction just helps keep all your skills up so you can fly through using your steed charge, getting Akarat's champions back as quick as possible. So yeah, strength, vit, cooldown reduction still big. Cooldown reduction is pretty big in general for Crusader. If you've played a con Crusader, you probably already know about all the cooldown anyway, so cooldown wherever you can get it, and Thorns damage, and then just strength and vitality. Same with the rings. I just happen to have a Wailing Host. It was better again than my rare ring I was using, so I just threw it on. Was able to get Thorns damage and that socket on it are the two biggest things. You know, you want socket. Obviously cooldown reduction if you can as well really helps. And then I have a Hellfire Amulet with the Fanaticism passive, which I'll show you what that is when we get to the skills. But you really probably want Finery. Finery is the best. Actually, I'll just go ahead and show you real quick. Finery is probably the best to get. Fanaticism gives me attack speed on my punish, which isn't terrible. But you probably want Finery or Hold Your Ground. It's best if you get Finery because Finery basically works on any build for Crusader pretty much. So if you get that, you basically have a Hellfire Amulet that you can use pretty much any time you feel like it. But Hold the Ground for this also works because that's what you really want, is Hold Your Ground. It gives you that extra 30% block chance. But yeah, back to the... But like I said, this is more of a speed variant I'm running right now with this. What you would really want if you were trying to push with this would be a Traveler Pledge and Compass Rose. and then still the Justice Lantern. The Justice Lantern we like because it gives you block chance. Now you can't roll thorns on the Justice Lantern, that's the downside, but it gives you nice block chance, which synergizes well with our Akarat's Awakening. Every block has a 23% chance to reduce all cooldowns for 1 second, and that is a 20 to 25% chance. So yeah, that works really well with this. You can see that mine is pretty bad. You really want some cooldown reduction on there. Again, strength, Vit, cooldown reduction, and thorns. But this one was with the thorns damage on it especially that I rolled, as you can see, was better than the rare shield that I was wearing. So, you know, might as well throw it on there. The belt I have at the moment is the Crumbs buff belt, which is not best in slot. It just happens to be pretty much the best belt I've gotten so far that I could roll thorns damage on easy. So that's why I have it. What you really want is the Belt of the Trove, and I have tried and tried and tried to get the Belt of the Trove. As a matter of fact, I'll try again, see if I get lucky since I'm making a video. Did I really? Did that really happen? Well, folks, that right there is the belt you want. That is Streamer RNG. See, that's why I waited to make this video. I didn't really want to tell people about the Invoker set. I just wanted to get the Belt of the Trove live. I have spent so many blood shards trying to get this thing. And, hey, I got it now. So, yeah, this is the belt you want, guys. Belt of the Trove. And the reason for that is because it calls down a bombardment on a random nearby enemy every 6 to 8 seconds. Yeah, 6 to 8 seconds. Which is enough for our 4 set piece. Which, if you see there, it's you take 50% less damage for 20 seconds after damaging an enemy with bombardment. So basically, as long as you're running through stuff every 6 to 8 seconds, a bombardment will be cast down, and you basically will have that perma 50% less damage, which I didn't have until now, which is great that I got that belt now. That mixed with the Aquila Cruise for your chest piece is pretty much amazing. The Aquila Cruise, while you're above 90%, I think it's 90 to 95, primary resource, all damage taken is reduced by 50%. Now this build uses no Wrath, so we're basically always at 100% Wrath. So yeah, we're basically always going to take that 50% reduced, and we're always going to take the 50% reduced from our 4-piece set now that we finally got the Belt of the Trove. So yeah, that's a thing. Sorry, I'm just really excited that I actually got this dumb belt finally. Next best in slot is the pig sticker. You want the pig sticker because you can roll 5 primary stats on it, as well as a socket from your Ramadali gift. You can see mine's kind of rolled poorly, but this is the very first one I made. I literally rolled a rare dagger, went to the cube, upgraded the rare to legendary, and got this. So I was like, whatever, good enough for now. So yeah, I mean, gives you some extra damage versus beast and humans, which doesn't hurt. But basically you want the 5 stats. It's really hard to roll a pig sticker with the perfect 5 stats, and then you put on the Ramadali's gift for your socket. Which would be, I think you would want probably strength, vitality, cooldown reduction, of course, attack speed, and area damage. Would be the 5 you would want, which is insane for a weapon. And that's right, you don't care about the damage. So in a perfect world, that poison damage, you would roll that off into like attack speed or area damage, and then you have that reduced cooldown as well on there. And then of course you want to socket that with your thorns damage, and then pretty much every other socket you just want diamonds, whatever best diamonds you can get a hold of at the time. And yeah, just tons of thorn damage. We got the Borski's Chip gem, which just adds more thorns. That's pretty much all we care about. It does give you then we're using Bane of the Powerful, which is pretty much a staple in most builds, especially speed running builds. It's really good in this build as well, because this build is an elite pack killer. Basically, it doesn't clear trash very well, but you pretty much one-shot all the elite packs. So that makes the Bane of the Powerful really good for this build especially. And then of course the Bane of the Trapped. Nothing new here. If you've played any build in Diablo, you know that Bane of the Trapped is pretty much best in slot. So yeah, that covers pretty much everything. As much block chance as we can get, so that we get this. Then the Heart of Iron in your cube. Now you can get either the Heart of Iron or the Aquila Cruise. You know, whichever one you get better. You know, equip one, put one in your cube. The reason I have one in the cube is I did the trick where you do your challenge rift at the beginning of the season and instantly can buy some stuff at level 1 at Kadala. So I got this from Kadala at level 1. It was like a level 11 item, which I wore it for a while, and then as soon as I was done with it, I just slapped it in the cube. And that's pretty much either that or the Aquila Cruise for your armor slot. If you're doing a kind of speed variant like I'm trying to do, you want the Ring of Royal Grandeur. If not, if you are trying to push, you probably want a Convention of Elements in here. And then of course, again, I'm using the Swift mount. That just gives me more duration on my steed charge to get to those elite packs faster. If you are trying to push greater rifts, you probably want the Furnace. Although if you're doing lower greater rifts, like I'm doing 40s right now, like I said, I'm trying to get all my gems to level 30, which I'm getting close. I'm just speed running through some 40s to try to get that done. I just went ahead and kept the Swift mount because basically at this level you one-shot anything that you like. We literally will one-shot the Rift Guardian. I'll show you how everything works in a minute. So yeah, basically when you first start out, I'm not even going to equip that belt yet. I'm going to end up accidentally salvaging it is what I'm going to do. But when you first start off, all you have to do is as soon as you hit level 70, first off, you should at least get your 2-set piece, right? Like your helm and your gloves. And basically, if you just go through and craft all yellow items for every single other piece, including your rings and amulet, and just make sure they have thorns damage on them. And that's what I did to start out. So I had my 2-piece Invoker set, and then just everything else was a level 70 crafted piece that had thorns on it. Now, don't spend too much currency and money on that, because you will get your 4-set piece pretty easy, and then after that your 6-piece set isn't too bad to get. But obviously, like your chest you definitely want, your amulet and rings you want. You want a weapon, you want a dagger. Just go ahead and craft a level 70 dagger as soon as you hit level 70 and put that in. You don't have to try to get a pig sticker right away. Just any dagger will work. And yeah, then craft you a pair of bracers for now if you want to, and a belt, a shield, and just make sure you roll thorns on everything. And with your 2-piece bonus set, you should be doing pretty good. I was able to do, my first 4 chapters super easy with this set. It was super tanky. I just flew through the Greater Rift with the 4-piece set. So, Greater Rift 20 is no problem with this build. As soon as you get your 6-piece set. Now, I tried to do a T11 as soon as I got my 6-piece set, but I wasn't able to quite do it very well. Like, it was okay, but it wasn't as fast as I liked, so I dropped down to like T9 and was farming T9. But once you get the Aquila Cruise or the Belt of the Trove, either one should give you enough damage reduction. Plus, once you get your gems up, because I just had like the crappy diamond gems that I could fit with like yellow stuff in most of my gear. So it was pretty tough doing a tier 11. Trash mobs, basically I had plenty of damage. I could one-shot kill any elite pack still, but like trash mobs would just kill me. So yeah, until you get the Aquila Cruise and the Belt of the Trove, you're going to have a little harder time. But yeah, a lot of people look at it and say, well, man, like, I have no damage now. Like, how the heck do you do damage with this? Well, that's why we have thorns. And as you can see, the 2-set piece, your thorns damage now hits enemies in a 15-yard radius around you. And each time you hit an enemy with punish, slash, or you block an attack, your thorns is increased by 140% for 2 seconds. Right, so that's why block chance is really good on this. And then, of course, we already went over the 4-set bonus with the 50% less damage from bombardment. And the 6-set piece, the attack speed of punish and slash are increased by 50% and deal 5,400% of your thorns damage to the first enemy hit. So, pretty simple. The way you do damage with this build is you just walk up to something and you hit it in the face. Pretty much none of these skills are technically not really used to damage much. Your bombardment just helps. It does help with damage some, especially later on doing Rift Guardians and stuff, but it's really just to help you keep that that 50% damage reduction. Your punish with your celerity rune basically increases your attack speed for 3 seconds and gives you some nice block chance. Then we're using Akarat's Champion. Akarat's Champion, I'm using Rally at the moment. Whenever you hit Akarat's Champion, your cooldown of your other abilities is reduced by 12 seconds. So basically all my skills will be on recharge, and as soon as I hit Akarat's Champion, they'll basically all be back, so I can keep Steed charging, using Consecration, stuff like that. So then we have, of course, Steed Charge with Spiked Barding. That just deals 500% of your thorns damage every second to enemies that you ride through, which is really nice. A lot of times you just clear a lot of trash mobs very easily this way. Then we have Iron Skin Reflective Skin. When it's active, your thorns increase by 300%. So basically that's not only a damage absorbing skill, but it also increases your thorns. So when you ride in, you'll basically, when you get to an elite pack, you basically hit Iron Skin, Consecration, which does do 100% of your thorns damage every second with the Bed of Nails rune, but also gives you some life per second while you're standing in it, which is really nice. So you hit Iron Skin, Consecration, pop your bombardment. That'll give you your 50% damage reduction, plus do some extra damage, and hit your Akarat's Champion all at the same time while you're hitting something in the face. And that's how you do a higher Greater Rift. For the lower Greater Rift, like I'm going to show you here in a minute, I basically just hit stuff in the face and it dies. But once you're pushing higher Greater Rifts, you know, it'll be more important to make sure that you're using your skills properly. It's no big surprise that we're using Finery. That's pretty much a staple in Crusader builds. Like I said, my Hellfire Amulet has Fanaticism, which gives us the 15% attack speed with our Punish, which doesn't really matter too much, but it helps. What you really want is Hold Your Ground and Finery for the speed. Then we're using Lord Commander, that reduces the cooldown of our Steed Charge and our Bombardment. Then we're using Iron Maiden, which gives our Thorns increased by 50%. And we're using Fervor, which gives us some 15% cooldown and 15% attack speed while we have a one-handed weapon. Now there are a few other things you can use. Like I said before, Traveler's Pledge and Compass Rose are probably really good if you're pushing the high greater rifts. Nemesis Bracers, I just haven't, I've got 2 pair, but they're really not that great. This one's even intelligence. So, you know, you probably want a Nemesis Bracers instead of these once you get going a little bit. Obviously, Nemesis Bracers is just going to give you more elite packs, which will help. But then there's another thing that I've liked to use in the past. I haven't tested it out for a while, but back when I used to play Invoker, I would use this set, the Norvald's Fervor set, which is Shield of the Steed, and then I forget what the Flail of the Charge two-hander. So it is a two-hander. But basically this increases the duration of Steed Charge by 2 seconds, and every time you kill an enemy it reduces the cooldown by 1 second. So basically that gives you instant Steed Charge, and then you gain 100% increased damage while using Steed Charge. So you can literally just use your Steed Charge with this build to run around and kill everything. As long as your Iron Skin's up and Steed Charge is up, you can just like mow down groups pretty quick using this set. But for the most part, you just want to stick with your pig sticker, unless you want to play around. I probably will try to play around with that a little bit, because like I said, I really love the Invoker set, just because it kind of breaks that meta a little bit. There really isn't much else for as far as gems go. I mean, you could use a Bane of the Stricken later on, once you're trying to kill those Rift Guardians. But yeah, until then, you can just stick with the Bane of the Powerful. You could also throw in a Wildebeest Gizzard at the start if that's one of the first gems you get. That may help you out early on. Sometimes if I get lucky and get the Wildebeest Gizzard when I do like a really low Greater Rift before I do my level 20 Greater Rift, I'll throw the Wildebeest Gizzard on. That just really helps with that 10% or 10,000 life regen per second. But yeah, definitely you want the Borski's Chip with Thorn's Damage and the Bane of the Trapped, and then the Bane of the Powerful, or you could use the Bane of the Stricken as well. Yeah, I'll show you guys how the build works. Like I said, I'm running through some level 40s here just to level up some gems. And you're basically just hunting these elite packs. So as you can see, it's kind of hard to kill the regular guys, although your horse will kill some of them. But for the most part, the speed variant, and even doing higher greater rifts, you just want to try to take out big packs and try to take out the elite packs. But I focus on these lower ones, mostly just on elite packs, because that's really all we need. Just run through, kill some elite packs. And that's pretty much it. I think a lot of people are having trouble because they think that bombardment is what's doing most of their damage. And they're like, hey, I'm hitting bombardment, nothing's dying. Well, there's no surprise, because bombardment isn't really doing like the big chunkier damage. You just hitting enemies is what's doing the most of your damage. So, yeah. And we got a really bad rift. Give us a better rift. It's like no elites. There's an elite pack. You can see there, you just pretty much one-hit kill anything. And you do have to attack each enemy. It's a pretty powerful build, as you can see. The toughness level's up, and it's really fun. The one downside of this build is playing with a group. It's not very group friendly, because unless you're playing with like a really fast demon hunter, I found this build to be really good with some fast demon hunters. With multi-shot, because they'll just mow down all the trash mobs, and demon hunters can keep up with you pretty well, and then you just smack the elites in the face Is that an elite? Yeah, that's an elite pack. So you can see pretty much just one-shot the guys. But yeah, it's a pretty fun little build. I really enjoy playing it. I still can't wait to play the Condemned Crusader though, because man, I used to play Condemned Crusader back a few seasons ago when it was big, and I loved Condemned Crusader when they killed it. So I can't wait to get back into some Condemned Crusader now that it's good again. I was gonna play it last season, but I decided not to. So yeah, really can't wait to get my Crusader set going for the Condemned build. But until then, man, I'm having a blast. Having a blast just killing things with thorns damage. You know, it's one of those great mechanics that I just love. You know, that hey, I can just kill things without going crit damage and crit chance. First time I ever played this, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun build. Leaves a ton of stuff behind. Oh, come here. Sometimes stuff gets clogged. Stupid flying enemies. If I didn't have so much time, I would have just ran past those. But I'm pretty sure we had plenty of time to stop and kill those guys. Man, this is a really bad rift. Remember, if you get a shielding guy like that, just kill the other two guys and the shielding guy will go away. I really love that they did that. Before, you would kill everything but the shielding guy, and then that one guy would just stay shielded for like an hour. It was terrible. It's one of the better changes in the game. But yeah, all the trash stuff, you can just run right by it. You don't have to worry about any of the trash mobs usually. You know, unless you get a nice juicy pack and you just feel like killing them. But for the most part, your steed charge should stay up most of the time, especially with swift mount. And then let's see if we can just one-hit kill this guy. Almost one-hit kill. Oh, nope. Got a no belts of the trove. But I got a witching hour, it looks like. I was going to say, now that I got a belt of the trove, one will probably drop, but luckily that didn't happen. I got another swift mount. These must be, like, not rare at all, because this is like the third or fourth swift mount that I've got. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Just hit stuff in the face, run around on your steed, and, you know, press some of your other skills. There's really nothing to it. Nothing to the Invoker set. But anyway, guys, that's it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like button if you liked the video. And make sure to hit subscribe for more content in the future. Thank you, guys, and I will see you later.